Hey guys, it's Queen Bee here. I wanted to give you some information and do a quick review on Frontier Airlines. I've never used them before, and I have to admit I was very hesitant to use Frontier because I've done some reading and I saw complaints about their customer service and how they charged you extra for everything. Like, not a lot was included in the price. So at the last minute, we decided to take a quick vacation here in July, kind of in between fall seasons and before school starts. So I started looking around, looking for some cheap flights. Because again, a lot of times a flight can be the biggest expense of your vacation to some degree. So we decided we wanted to come to Florida, which from where we live, we could fly out of Charlotte, Raleigh, or Greensboro. So I did some checking into all three of those airports, looking for a direct flight to Florida and looking for costs. So I came across a direct flight out of Charlotte to Florida, and it was taxes, fees, everything, $109 a person. Now, typically when we've flown to Florida, if I can get $225 to $250, that's a good rate, and I'm excited about it. So when I saw $109, I'm like, are you kidding me? So I looked, and it was on Frontier. Well, Frontier is obviously a low-cost provider. So you have to go into it with that expectation that there's not going to be a whole lot of extras, but that's why the price is so low. So I went ahead and booked it for $109. Now, some of the complaints about Frontier is that they charge you for carry-on bags and not just checked luggage. So they let you take one personal item at no charge, and then they do charge you for a carry-on bag, and then they charge you for a checked item. Even with the cost of the checked bag, that was $35. So even with that, our round-trip tickets for each person was $144. Again, very cheap for a direct flight to Florida. So I was pretty excited about the cost, but still, again, didn't really know what the service would be like. So we get to the airport yesterday. We checked in. My only complaint about the check-in is that we had done an online check-in and already had our boarding passes. We just needed to check up one piece of luggage, and we had to wait in the whole line to check a piece of luggage for everybody who was still trying to check in. So my recommendation to them would be have a line for people who've done the online check-in, and all they need to do is check a bag. But even that was not a big deal. We get to the plane, board very efficiently. The plane was almost brand new. You walked on it, you knew it was a new plane. The seats looked brand new. The carpeting was clean. The seats, in my opinion, I actually had a little more leg room than the last flight I took on American. So that surprised me. So as we're in the flight, they, talk a little bit about the airline over the loudspeaker. And they mentioned that Frontier has recently signed contracts, and they're working on bringing in 100 new planes into their fleet. That's a lot of new planes, and planes are incredibly expensive. So that's a huge investment on their part. But that made sense when I was looking around thinking, well, our plane looks brand new. Well, it was probably one of those new ones that they're bringing in. The only thing that Xander was worked up over is on most flights, they will give you sodas. That is not included on Frontier. If you want a soda, it's $1.99. Our flight was an hour and 15 minutes, so I didn't get a drink. Typically, when I'm on a short flight like that, I don't even get a soda when they offer it. So that was not a big deal to me. But even if we wanted a soda, that would have made our round-trip flight $146. So the service was great. The staff on the plane, the attendants were very friendly. I have absolutely no complaints about Frontier. So we will definitely look at them again in the future. Like I mentioned, I've always been very hesitant about trying them because some of the complaints I've heard about how they nickel and dime you to death. Well, even when you add in what you're paying for on the base rate, it's still less than what you would pay on other airlines, and the service and the friendliness was just as good. In fact, it was probably more friendly than a lot of flights I've taken with some of the major airlines. So anyway, just wanted to give you a quick review because, part of what I do is try to teach people how to be able to travel and save money. And, looking at a low-cost carrier, don't shy away from it just because of other people's opinions. Do your own research, check into it yourself, and form your own opinions. But I, for one, was very pleased, and this is definitely somebody that we will try and use again. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like below. I ask you to subscribe to my channel. Like me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram and Pinterest. And thank you so much for supporting the Queen Bee of Savings, and I'll talk to you again soon.